Hi, welcome. It's maths class with Miss Mac. Today, volume. Woo! So volume is what happens when you have a three-dimensional shape, like a cube or a cuboid, which is what we're going to be focusing on today. And the volume describes how much space it takes up. So it's like area, but 3D. Here are the formulae that you will need. So the volume of a cuboid is length times breadth times height, or whatever you call the three dimensions. It really doesn't make a difference. You might call them width as well. You don't have to put the times in between there. You can just write LBH. You will not get this formula on the formula sheet. You have to memorize it. And we're also going to use a little bit of converting capacity. For example, this holds 500 milliliters of water. Its capacity is 500 mils. Luckily, 1 centimetre cubed is the same as 1 milliliter, which means 1,000 centimetres cubed is the same as 1 litre. This will not be on the formula sheet, but usually they do include this information in the questions, so it might be worth remembering, but if you forget, it will probably be there. First up, let's look at some straightforward volume questions. I noticed last time that my pen made a very scratchy noise, so I'm going to try and avoid that this time with some tricks of the camera. So let's work out the volume of this cube here. It has a length of 3, a breadth of 5, and a height of 2. But it could be rotated. It really does not make a difference which way round they go because we're multiplying them together, and it doesn't matter which way round you multiply stuff, it will give you the same answer. You can test it if you want. First line I want to see is the formula. Then I would like some substitution, giving us our sum, 3 times 5 times 2, and an answer with a unit. Because this question is in centimetres, my unit is in centimetres, and because I'm now dealing with 3D, it's got a cubed up here. 30 centimetres cubed. So those are the 3 lines of working I'd like to see for working out the volume of a cube. I want formula, substitution, answer with unit. I've got 2 standard ones for you to work on and 1 more challenging one here. So pause and have a try of those just now. Okay, let's go through the answers. This one here, let's do our first line. Formula, volume equals length times breadth times height. Now substitution, 6 times 7 times 15. Could have done them in any order I wanted. And an answer with unit. Cool. Okay, looking at this one down here, this one is different because it's a cube, and the cool thing about cubes is that they have all sides the same length. So we're still going to do it the same way. We're going to start with the formula, but because it's a cube, all of these are going to be the same. So it's going to be 3 times 3 times 3, and you can write it like that, or you could write it like this. And the answer, being careful because this one is in meters, so it's meters cubed. Our challenging one. Here, we have to work backwards to find the height. We've got the volume, and we've got 2 of the lengths. We've got length, breadth, but we don't yet know the height. We're going to start with the formula. Let's put in all of the information that we know. So one of the weird things is you can actually substitute into both sides of the formula. We get real used to just putting things in the right-hand side of formula, but you can put them in both. So we're going to take the volume. Yeah, we know it. We'll put it in there. Do we know the length? Yes. Do we know the breadth? Yup. Do we know the height? No. So we'll just leave it as h, or whatever you want to call it. And we can do some algebra here, or we can read the formula to ourselves and figure this out. 24 is equal to 3 times 4 times what? Okay, let's simplify it down a bit. 24 is equal to 12 times the height. 12 times what would give me 24? Well, I can use division to work backwards, and my height is going to be 2. Oh, careful there. Just centimetres this time because we're working out a length. Okay, time to step it up. These questions are more typical of what you might see in an assessment. Here's one for me, here's one for you. So first one, ice cream is bought into the shop in 5-litre tubs and then sold in these tubs here. How many tubs can be filled? First of all, it would be really good to know how much can be held in this little tub. Formula, substitution in any order. Answer. So we have worked this out in centimetres cubed, but as you may remember, when we're dealing with capacity, 1 centimetre cubed is also the same as 1 milliliter. So this is a 300 milliliter tub. And we have 5 whole litres, which is 5,000 millilitres. How many 300 millilitres could I fit into 5,000 millilitres? Well, splitting something up into equal groups or pouring it into equal tubs, that's a division sum right there. So we're going to have 5,000 divided by or split into tubs of 300, giving us 16.6 repeating, or 16 and 2/3. Would you be happy if you got a tub of ice cream that was only 2/3 filled? No. So how many tubs of ice cream can we actually make? That's only going to be 16 tubs. Okay, your go. This one over here. Large metal cuboids are melted down to make smaller square-based cuboids. How many small cuboids could be made? Pause and try. Okay, the moment we've all been waiting for. Let's go through this. It would be really useful to know the volumes of both of these cuboids. So let's do the volume of this one. Ooh. And the volume of the wee one. Remembering that the length that we can't see here, because it is a square-based pyramid, cuboid, this is 2 centimeters as well. So volume would be. Then finally, how many of these could we make from this? Well, we're grouping this up into groups of 16, figuring out how many groups, always a division sum, so we're looking at 24,000 divided by 16, 1,500 exactly cuboids. So hopefully you feel a little bit better about volume now. As always, thank you so much for putting the effort into your maths whilst you are not in school. Thank you. You the real MVP.